Hey up everybody and welcome back to my channel. I hope you're all having a smashing day or evening wherever you may be in the world. The topic of today's video is going to be my review of Parramatta's round 1 match against Canterbury-Bankstown. I've decided that I'm going to do a review of all the Parramatta games for the entire year, win, lose or draw. I'm going to do a review of what I thought of the match and going forward into the future what I think Parramatta can improve on. So before I get started in this video, if you haven't done already, please like, share, subscribe to the videos that I've been putting out. If you're enjoying the content, you can post what you think in the comment section, whether it be whatever you want to see, you can see. I'm not PC. Also, if you got Facebook, which I'm sure most of you do, make sure you go over the Rugby League history. I've got the link in the description below. I've run a page on Facebook called Rugby League History. I post a lot of stuff about nostalgia and about players that have played in the past. So go over to Facebook and give it a look and see if you like it. So without further ado, let's get into the video. So Parramatta, round 1 against Canterbury-Bankstown, arch rivals, over at the Western Sydney Stadium. Now in the lead up to the match, Canterbury, as everyone knows, had the off-field scandal, Jade Knockenbach, Corey Horaway and Nairi. They lost a $2 million sponsorship deal with Rashi's, and also they had another sponsor pull out on the eve of the game. As I was watching the pre-game coverage, it was just all Parramatta, Parramatta, Parramatta. I think the only thing that they mentioned about Canterbury was they spoke with the head coach, Dean P. So Parramatta went into the match as heavy favourites. Canterbury didn't even get a mention. Now, I think before the actual game started and they're in the dressing room, that Dean P told the players, and this is in the week leading up to the game as well, he said, look, now we're not the most talented bunch of players, no offence, but what we're good at is defence. And I think we can frustrate Parramatta and some of these other teams in the competition this year, like we did last year. If we focus on defence, we get up in their face, we hit them hard, and we get underneath their skin and frustrate them. And then when we get an opportunity, we counter attack. So I think Canterbury went into this game with a very defensive mind. I thought before the match that Canterbury would win this game, which everyone might go, shock, horror, how could you do that, you're a Parramatta fan? Well, I was thinking with me head, not with me heart. The last couple of times we played against Canterbury, they've had our measure. They've used the same sort of game plan where they go very defensive, they get up in our face, they frustrate us. It forces Moses and Gutherson to try to push passes. The forwards get frustrated because they're getting belted, getting pushed back. So Canterbury went into the game plan with that. I was hoping that Parramatta wouldn't get sucked into it, but in the opening 40 minutes, Parramatta played right into Canterbury's hand. Parramatta were just going one-out plays after one-out play, barring fifth tackle option from Moses just kicking it in the air. Canterbury were responding in kind. There was a lot of errors from both teams, but I think after that 40 minutes, even though it was 2-2, I thought Canterbury-Bankstown were the better team. Second half, much of the same. Parramatta, Canterbury were just going one out. It was a war of attrition who was going to crack first. In the 60th minute or the 65th minute, Parramatta, we got a lucky try through Reid Marnie. Interestingly, with Reid Marnie, if you don't know, I knew this, but he was a Canterbury junior, you could see. He came from Nambour originally on the Sunshine Coast and he was signed by Canterbury-Bankstown. He played SG ball and he was drafted into the under-20 team and then he was cut. If you watch Bloke in the Bar, there's a podcast where he speaks about how he was cut from Canterbury and he considered giving up rugby league until Parramatta approached him. And it was in the paper, well, it was in Fox League today that Parramatta signed him for $6,000 for a contract. So I think it's probably the best $6,000 that Parramatta's ever spent. But anyway, getting back to the match, we got the lucky try. It went back to the same type of a game after the try. 1-out, 1-out. There was a few errors. In the last minute of the play, we managed to ground the ball in the in goal, and then that final minute was just a bit of pushing and shoving, and then the match ended. So for me, myself, and I guess for a lot of Parramatta fans out there, we're all very relieved, because if we would have lost against this Canterbury side, it would have been really, really embarrassing, considering what that club's been through in the past week, and considering that we were really heavy favourites to run out winners. I'm not exactly happy with how we played, but a win's a win. I think that the backline for Parramatta did their job. I think there was some good defence, especially from Wonga Blake, Michael Jennings, Blake Ferguson, the human pinball machine. He was good taking the ball out of the danger zone. Gutherson was a bit ordinary. Micah Sivo was very quiet, but he picked up a knock early in the match, and I think he was kind of a bit sour after that. Going on to the half pairing, Dylan Brown, he didn't really do nought. Mitchell Moses, I don't know what the fuck was going on there, like. He was fucking shite. And considering that he's had probably one of the best players that's ever lived in his ear at training, telling him, this is how you do this is how you do that, giving him pointers. I was sat there thinking, was Mitchell Moses having a piss when Andrew Johns was telling him all this shite? Like, this is how you do this, Mitchell. And he's going, oh yeah, just write it down on a piece of paper. I'll get back to you later. I'm trying to do a piss here. The forwards, I think we were out-muscled in the forwards. Regan Campbell-Gillard and Ryan Mattison didn't do now, as far as I'm concerned. I think they were a bit disappointing. One thing that really annoyed me about Parramatta today, or tonight, was that they just looked really unenthusiastic. They didn't seem up for it. They just seemed to be going through the motions, going 1-out. I mean, this is our arch rival. This is one of the biggest games of the year, if not the biggest game of the year. Canterbury were up for it. They were up for it. We weren't. As I said, I think we were really lucky to get the win. There was very few positives, lots of negatives. It's only round one. I think the game plan that Brad Arthur come out with wasn't good. It wasn't working. I noticed that when we actually spread the ball on that very rare occasion, we got the Canterbury defence in a bit of trouble, because I think Canterbury wanted us to just keep going 1-out, 1-out. When we actually spread the ball, when we actually went second or third phase play, we kind of worried the Canterbury defence, but it was so, I think we must have only done about 3 or 4 plays. And I think I counted maybe about 2 or 3 offloads for the whole match. There was one where Nathan Brown ran into the fence, turned his back, offloaded to Gutherson, and Gutherson made 20 metres, and that was just the one offload. And I'm thinking, fuck, we should be doing more of that. This is, I think, going forward in the future, other teams will be studying the videotape of this match, and if you want to beat Canterbury, you're not going to beat them through the middle. You're not going to beat them in a war of attrition, going 1-out and set after set. You beat them by shifting it through the hands quickly, getting some second phase play, getting some offloads. That's how you beat Canterbury. But in conclusion, I'm really, really relieved that we beat Canterbury today. In my books, beating Canterbury is the most important thing of the year. It doesn't matter how the year goes as long as we beat Canterbury, because that's our arch rivals. Next week we play against the Gold Coast up at Seabus Super Stadium or Skill Park or whatever the fuck it's called now. Gold Coast is a bogey team for us. They always seem to do well against Parramatta. They've pulled our pants down, so to speak, a couple of times over the years. So who knows, maybe next week we might be a totally different team, but we can't be going in every week playing like that. So let me know what you think about the game in the comment section below. Once again, if you like the video, please like, share, subscribe. I've got other videos on the channel. I'll be uploading videos every day. If you got Facebook, check out Rugby League History. Got some great nostalgia on there. And I'll catch you all later. And take care. Ta-ra.